Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm sure that more people will join us, but I think that we can start now. My name is Marta Fernández de Alarcón. I am the Secretary General of the Spanish Business Council, and I want to welcome you to this webinar about how to build and maintain a high-performance team, RISE methodology by Sky Limits, led by Carlos Oliveira, founder and CEO of Sky Limits, and one of our team members, and very supportive as always. In this session, Carlos will share practical strategies to help your teams thrive in today's competitive landscape that go from fostering trust and collaborations to enhancing resilience and adaptability. The purpose of this webinar is providing actionable insights that can transform your organization's performance. So I want to say thank you for your collaboration, Carlos. I think that I'm not going to talk anymore, anything more. I don't want to waste time to your speech, so we can start. At the end of the webinar, we will explore a Q&A period, okay? Thank you so much, Carlos.
Okay, thank you, Marta. Thank you very much for the Spanish Business Council. Here I am in Abu Dhabi, pretty rainy. I think that in Dubai also is pretty rainy, but I think that we have people from different places. Okay, so thank you. As I told you, I think that we are going to cover one of the topics that most of the people in the companies they are facing all the time is what is about high performance team, what we can do to really increase the performance of our teams. Okay, first of all, I want to present myself. Okay, I'm going to present very briefly, then we are going to talk why it's important to talk about high performance team. What is a high performance team? Okay, because everybody talk about a high performance team, but to define what is a high performance team and the main characteristic, and then we're going to cover why we should invest on that, okay, and why we should have a process, because if not, things they are not going to happen by miracle. Okay, we need to really put a process on the things, the same that you do in your company. I mean, you put process and you put strategies to deliver your results, because this is exactly the same. Okay, so first of all, let me introduce myself. Okay, I'm Carlos Oliveira. I have more than 25 years of executive experience at C-level in companies like Johnson & Johnson, Kellogg's, or Evo Banco. In Evo Banco, I used to manage a sales department in Johnson & Johnson, in Kellogg's, in IFA Group also, and in Evo Banco I was the customer lab managing director, managing big data, innovation, strategic partnership, channels, analytics, all these kind of things, no? But in parallel to all of that, I'm certified coach since the last, I think, 12 years. And I have the privilege to work with more than 600 senior executive and entrepreneurs worldwide in the 5 continents. Okay, so, and honestly, this is the part that I love more. Work with teams and work with people to really help him to find their goals and to deliver what they really want. No, in parallel to that, I also independent board member and independent board advisor on some companies. I'm Oliver Wyman Senior Advisor. I'm a speaker. I'm the CEO of Iberia, a great culture to innovate. That is a company that we made a cultural of innovation assessments in companies, and I'm founder, partner, and CEO of Sky Limits Consultancy. Okay, so those are kind of the logos. These fancy logos is part of the logos that I have the privilege to work with people of these kind of companies, work with people in Apple, in Red Hat, Google, Revlon, the FIFA, the government of Dubai, banking, Procter & Gamble. So those are the kind of customers that I used to have, and I have the privilege, as I told you, to work with them. Okay, so why everybody's talking about high performance team? Because it's one of those expressions that everybody's saying, oh yes, we want high performance team everywhere, but everybody talking about that. But it's not because it's a fancy expression, it's because they really have impact on the results. Okay, basically, if you think on the problems that you are facing in your company, most of them are related to these 4 points. The first one is to increase productivity and efficiency, then to improve innovation and creativity, then is how you're gonna maintain and engage your employees and obtain the retention, and finally to have a higher customer satisfaction and results. This is about that. I mean, this is about that. And most of your companies are facing more or less one of those topics, okay? And it's not because, I think that this is gonna help in this area. No, if you analyze real deep research, you can see that, well, for example, in the first case, McKinsey analyzed that high performance teams are 50% more productive than the average team. So it's a serious issue. It's a serious issue. Okay, and at the end, when you have this kind of high performance team, you have more time effective and higher quality. And I'm pretty obsessionist with the quality concept. I mean, you can do things and you can do things with extremely good quality. And I think that high performance team are really reinforce the concept of doing things in the better way. Okay. Regarding the innovation and creativity, we know that we are in a very volatile environment, and one of the most critical things that we are facing, and I face with the companies that I used to work, is how they are gonna really work on change this situation that the people doesn't want to move from the actual status, how they're going to change, the change management, how they are going to create more innovation. Most of the companies, they really want to have a target of around 10-15% of my incomes next year, they should come from innovation. But most of them, they are really struggling on that. It's not an easy thing. And one of the key things is how we are going to create a culture to that. How we're going to do it? But again, it's a question of building the right environment. The trust environment is absolutely critical on that. Okay, we know that Google is one of the most innovative companies, and they have the project Aristotle that basically they really focus on how they're gonna generate this psychological safety that generate this really innovation and creativity environment. Okay. Regarding the employees, again, very prestigious company, Gallup. Gallup tell us that people who really have teams with high engagement, they are more profitable, around 21% more profitable. And don't forget why we are here as a companies. Okay, we are here to deliver one product or one service and obtain some profit. Okay, so the profitable part is absolutely critical. So it makes sense to put efforts on that. If imagine how many drivers do you have there? They are gonna give you 21% more profit. Probably you don't have so many drivers to have it. So this is one of those. Okay, so it makes sense to really do that. And why? Because at the end, the high performance team create loyalty, and loyalty is critical. We spend so much money with rotation in the organization, especially if you are thinking on technology companies, or it depends on the industry. The rotation is one of the really big problems that we're facing, because when the people is there and they know how to develop their jobs and they have all this knowledge, then they leave it. So to put focus on that is absolutely critical, and it's part of high performance team. If you have high performance team, the people wants to stay there. Okay, and if they stay there, you are going to be more profitable. And then, of course, customer satisfaction and results. We are here, as I told you, first of all, to sell and to try to sell more, and secondly, to obtain profit. Okay, and if you really put focus on that, and if you really work in high performance team, at the end, the report shows that your profit, your income, your turnover is going to be like 12% higher. Okay, and again, this is not something that I said, it's something that Harvard Business Review is saying. Okay, so to build a strong customer relationship is critical to have this high performance team in place. Okay, I hope at this stage I convince you why it's absolutely necessary to have high performance team in your organizations. Okay, but this is nice, but what is a high performance team? Okay, very simple definition, but a lot of really important concepts behind. Okay, a high performance team is a group of individuals who are aligned around a common purpose, share mutual trust and respect, and consistently deliver exceptional results. Okay, sounds like the typical definitions, but why we don't go a little bit on the details? First of all, we're talking about a group of individuals. And what that means, all the systemic theories and all the systemic way of working, okay? What that said, a group of people is more than the addition of the members, okay? So they have their own life. A group, they have their own life. They have their own way of working, they have their own values, they have their own problems, it's totally different than the adding of all the members. So to work on how as a team we are gonna work, that could be synergy and add more than the individuals, and could be the opposite if we are not properly managed that, okay? Common purpose, okay? And most of the big corporations, they have this very fancy and nice purpose on the walls, okay? These are our purpose and all this kind of stuff. But the point is like, okay, as a team, my team, they really believe that this is the purpose. This is a purpose that is so generic and it's not touching me. I mean, you can have the corporate purpose, but I think that we can go deeper and understand, well, what this purpose means to us as a group, and define, of course, aligned with that big purpose, what is our purpose? What do we need to do? How we're going to do it? What are our values as a group? To define this framework is going to give you a clear competitive advantage, because at the end, they're going to be trust, that is absolutely critical, and respect. Trust and respect are probably one of the most complex things to have in organizations. Because trust, I mean, think on your organization. I mean, you were there and sometimes said, oh, I trust the logistic guy, I trust the marketing guy, I trust the human resources guy. I mean, yes, of course I trust it, but you really, really, really go and trust it, totally, or you have some fights then. And then I respect them, because sometimes it's like, oh, this guy is not so good, so, oh, no. And you are start gossiping with the other ones, and the marketing and the sales, and the other one, blah, 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 blah. All these kind of things are generating a lot of problems in companies, a lot of problems. So it's critical that you really trust in your organization and you really trust in your team, in the team that you're working. If you're a C-level and you're working in an executive committee, you really want to be a trusty person, and you need to trust in every single member of the executive committee. If you are the leader of one department and you have your intermediates leaders, you need to trust them, and you need that everybody trusts the other ones. And of course, respect is critical. You have to stop all the gossiping. You need to learn how to communicate and how to do the things on a different way. And the last part is exceptional results. Again, it's not a question of results. It's a question of exceptional results. We need to do, I used to work always, and I said to my teams that we want to do epic results. What is an epic results? Epic means to do something in a shorter period of time or in a bigger amount, okay? And I like the epic concept. In fact, one of my books talk about the epic concept, and I create an acronym and other things, okay? So exceptional results. There are people that together, as a group of individuals with a common purpose, they are able with trust and respect to obtain exceptional results. As simple as that and as difficult as that, okay? Because when you really start doing these kind of things, the level of collaboration, accountability, and adaptability goes exponentially, okay? Because at the end, this is the way that you are going to exceed expectations. And important, even in short term and in long term, you need to balance the two things. You need to balance, especially if you are in a senior position. You have to, stay with the lights, long lights and short lights. You have to stay all the time finding the right balance between the two things, okay? We're talking about collaboration, accountability, and adaptability. There are three big issues, okay? Accountability is one of the main issues. Collaboration, we know that there is nothing that you read here that is not surprising to you. And probably you think in your company, probably we need to improve in some of those, no? So if we analyze a little bit deeper the characteristics of the high performance team, we need to think in these 5 areas. My suggestion is during I'm speaking, try to do a matrix and score your company, your department, the situation that you're facing now in these 5 topics, okay? Do you think that now in your company or in your department you really have a shared vision and goals, they really work collaboratively towards to a unified purpose. Put a score between 1 and 10 or between 1 and 5, whatever, score whatever you want, okay? In terms of empowerment and accountability, one of the biggest issues, I mean, you think that the people have this sense of ownership? They really have it? They really take the responsibility? They really go and focus on the outcome? Or it's like, this is my job. I go there, I did it, and I go home. No, they really think that this is part of his lives in terms of, I really believe that this is like a sense of ownership or not, okay? Communication, they really could be clear, honest, and could express themselves, of course, with respect, on a free way or not. And again, try to score your company on that. And what about resilience and agility? Most of the problems also, as I told you, came from these changing circumstances. I'm thinking now one customer that I'm working now with them that they have a big issue on that. Okay? And the problem is that in that case, the company is performing really bad. And it's something that I face several times. The company is performing bad, the results are terrible, but the people didn't want to change. And it's like, okay, it sounds like the Titanic, no? I mean, they are still playing music and the, and the boat is going down. So we need to really take the people to the reality and face, again, with open communication, with empower and accountability, sharing the goals of what we need to do. We need to change. We need to change because nothing in this world is going to stay stable for a long time. If you analyze what are the most valuable companies 20 years ago, they are totally different than now. I mean, this is a fact. We are in one environment that is changing so dramatically. Think on the, TomTom. Think on TomTom. Think on Nokia. Think on Kodak. Think on these big companies that it supposedly is going to be there for the rest of our lives. And well, they're still there, some of them, other not, but in a very small portion that there was in the past. Okay. So at the end, as I told you, as a systemic group, they have to be in a continuous improvement way, because all groups, they are go through different phases of maturity, and they need to rebuild, and they need to rebuild, and they really need to reshape things and work on that. Okay. So other big issue that I want to put just a slide just to talking about that is the ego management. One of the biggest issues by far. Okay. Ego can be, as I told you, one of the biggest obstacles that we have in terms of collaboration and success. And it's based because there is no safety, psychology safety in the companies. I mean, people, they are really afraid of losing their jobs, or they are really afraid of, how we are going to manage the affairs of the people is the secret to really work on the ego. Okay. Ideally, in an executive committee, we need to hang our ego in the door previously we enter. Okay. And it's not easy because, the sales guy wants to be the clever one in the meeting, and they want to be more clever than the marketing guy. The marketing wants to really be the best of blah, blah, blah. The managing director, I'm the macho alpha and I want to be, so all these kind of communication problems is generating a lot of problems in the environment. So we need to really go with this sense of humility, be humble, mutual respect, and share purpose. And again, this is not going to happen by miracle. You need to work on the ego management issue and how we are going to, work with the people to really think and understand that the ego in that sense, it doesn't make sense to put it on the table. Not the ego as a group. The ego as a group could be part of the value, it's part of the, it's part of the essence of the team, but the team, not yours. Okay. And how you're going to manage that on a proper way. It's not an easy topic. No? I developed a long time ago a methodology that is immortality challenge. That is how we're gonna control our egos, because it's not an easy topic, as I told you. Okay. So why invest in high performance team? I think that I convinced you already. Okay, you can see what are the benefits of doing these kind of things. You can see that it's a fact base that the results are gonna come if you really put focus on that, because you are gonna really achieve breakthrough results. You are gonna really exceed targets. That is exactly what you want. Okay, you are gonna be more prepared to navigate challenge with resilience and agility. You are going to create a culture of collaborations and continuous growth, and then you're going to balance these long lights, short lights, that I tell you that is going to be the secret of have a long-term organization that works. Okay, because all of this, if you analyze these four parts, what we are talking is how I'm going to build a competitive advantage. This is a story how we are going to build a competitive advantage. You can have a competitive advantage in product, but you need a competitive advantage in how your teams are working. People create the companies. You never saw a company in the street. You never saw, hi, this is Johnson & Johnson. No, you never saw it. What you saw is people, okay? So people are creating companies. So it's not an easy topic to deliver, but it's an easy topic to lost it very quick. So you need to invest on that, and you need to put process on that. Because again, as I told you, people think that by miracle things are going to happen. No, life doesn't work like this. You are not selling a lot because by miracle you are selling a lot. You have a sales plan. Okay, you have a sales plan, you have a roadmap, you have KPIs, you have milestones, you have all these kind of things. So exactly the same you have to do with your teams. Exactly the same you have to do with your culture and with all these methodologies to create a high performance team. So my proposal is why we don't really put effort on that, as I told you, and try to really go to the full potential of your teams. Your teams, they have, this is one of the other questions that you have to face. Think on your team and I think, okay, my team now, if I have to score to 1 to 100, what percentage we are really exploiting our potential? Do you think that we are at 60%? We have 40% less? We are in 90? We are in 30? I mean, this again is another question that you can ask yourself to see if, oh my God, I think that we need to really focus on that and do something. Because normally there is more potential that we are really exploding. So there is opportunities to really go further and do an extra mile and do 2 extra miles, 3 extra miles, because there is room for improvement. Normally there is room for improvement. Okay, so this is your job as leader. This is your job as leader. How you're gonna create the environment to really go deeper in that sense. Okay. So let's go to RISE. Okay, look to this beautiful, beautiful image. Okay, what is RISE? What is this methodology about? Okay, at the end, RISE, and it's a conclusion of the previous slides that we are showing, is a methodology that goes step by step to deliver a consistent high performance team performance in your team. Okay, I said I said it like the same thing in 2 different ways. Okay, the first one is how to resolve the purpose and core values. This is what about purpose and core values, and it's the first thing. If we are not sharing this purpose and core values, what we're talking about? Okay, so it's the first part. We need to go and settle down what is our purpose and core values on a very clear and simple way. We start with the corporate ones if we have it, and then we have to go deeper. What are the purpose and core values of the sales department? What are the purpose and core values of my company in Emirates or in Spain or whatever it is? Okay, then when you know that, you need to start working on how I'm gonna empower and my team and how they're gonna create this feeling of ownership, that they really suffer that the results they are not coming, and they really are extremely happy when the results are coming. And it's not because of the bonus. It's because I'm part of that and I feel extremely excited to do the right things. Okay? Then is how you're going to strengthen communications and trust. Most of the problems that I'm facing, there are communication problems. Most of them. And communications, as I told you, is very related with ego. Okay, we assume that the people knows how to communicate each other, but it's a big mistake. It's a big mistake. We have different styles, different way of communicating. We think that we are respectful, but sometimes we are not respectful. We are not effective in communication. So we need to really focus on how we're going to do that. Because if you communicate properly and you define the right framework, you are going to build trust. Okay? You couldn't work without trust. So trust is one of these pillars that build everything. All your relationships are based on trust. Your couple relationship are based on trust. All the important relationships in your life are based on trust. So, and how you are doing it, how you did it, you invest on that. You create this trusted relationship. So we need to invest and create this trusted relationship. Okay. And finally, how we are going to evolve with resilience and adaptability. It's especially critical in those moments. All these innovation part, how we're going to adapt, how we're going to change, how we're going to move forward, how we're going to create new products, how we're going to have 50% of the turnover coming for new things. I mean, things on companies like Blockbuster, how they move from the original, sorry, Blockbuster, Netflix, how they move from a concept like Blockbuster at the beginning, then they send the videotapes at home, and finally it's like a platform. I mean, they move forward. They really think and try to understand what are the insights, and they really find the way to adapt it, to be adaptable and change their strategy to what customers are looking for. Okay. So if we go deeper on that, what we are talking about result, purpose, and core values, think on what we are looking is what is your objective? To have a solid foundation. As simple as that. We need a solid foundation to really work on how we are going to create our purpose and team core values. If we think about how we're going to empower and ownership, the objective is how we're going to have motivated people and how we are going to be really effective in the decision-making process. Because sometimes be honest, we are not very efficient when we are taking decisions. We take it late, we take it probably not the right ones, probably based on political reasons, probably based on fears, because I don't want to be the ones who take this decision. We want to be covered by everybody that this decision is not mine, it's from the board, whatever it is. I mean, we are not effective taking this kind of decisions. So it's critical that if you really have the empowerment and the ownership and you believe in your team, these kind of things start working, okay? And if we go to the communication and trust part, the objective is how we're going to eliminate these barriers. There are huge amount of barriers between people. There are people like, I like these people, but I don't like the other ones. Why you didn't like? And you have to work with them. So, and we're different. I'm from the commercial part of my career. Normally, with the financial guys, there are different kind of profiles, totally different. Normally, this is a stereotype, okay? So, how we are going to communicate, we need to define what are going to be our codes, how we are going to communicate each other, how we're going to do it. I mean, and then the magic starts. Then we can communicate it, then we can build trust, and then we can go ahead with that. Okay, and finally, regarding resilience and adaptability, what is the objective? Again, be productive. Be productive in any uncertainty situation. And sorry guys, but we are gonna be in uncertainty situation for the rest of our lives. So it's something that we can say, okay, I have this product, I have this, okay, I can stop and go in line in the beach. No way, it's not gonna happen. So it's absolutely critical that you develop these kind of skills to your team. And how we can do that? Of course, this is an examples of tools that we can use and I can use with companies to really go deeper on these kind of topics. No? If we think on the purpose and core values, it makes sense to have a strategic visioning workshops, okay, to really align and design sessions to establish what is the mission, the vision, this kind of thing. I used to do it pretty often, and it's a really deep exercise and really valuable exercise. Again, it's the foundation of everything. Of course, coaching processes. You can do coaching, and one of the things that I used to do, and I think is extremely valuable, is work with the C-level, with the board. I used to work with all the members on an individual sessions on a monthly basis, plus the CEO. and for a year or 2 years or whatever it is, okay? And when they have these strategic meetings, I used to go there and try to help them to facilitate it, because I have the privilege to work with all of them, and I know exactly what is happening, what this guy think about the other one, what happened, what is the friction that I'm not aligning that part of the vision, whatever. I mean, so this role helps to really put like oil in the engine, okay? That help to really everything goes smoothly. So all the coaching session, I think that is absolutely critical. And then there are like, you know, the Vita methodologies and new methodologies based on forum of YPO. I'm part of YPO member. So how we are gonna go deeper and have deeper conversations, even on the personal side, in our teams, because this build trust. And again, when you build trust, things go exponential. Okay, this is examples of that. Tools that we can do to really empower and increase the ownership. Okay, again, we can do coachings, but now we can do team coaching, systemic coaching. It's not the same to manage one single man than to manage a team. The personality of the team is different than the personality of a person. Okay, and they have their own lives, totally different. So they have to work in the different perspective. I'm also certifying in high impact techniques like fire walking, glass walking, these kind of things. Okay, these kind of things are really effective, not just to do it. Okay, I'm doing fire walking. Okay, it's nice, but it's not like this. I mean, fire walking and these kind of things, they help us to anchor some of the movements that we want or the changes that we want to do. Okay, if you are afraid of doing something, if you're afraid of changing, if you're afraid of doing that target, if you're afraid of build relationship with your partners, there are special high impact techniques that help you to show you physically how you can do it, how you can deliver it, how you can go ahead to your affairs, how you can go beyond that. Okay, and I think that they are really important to use it as a physical anchor to change attitudes. Okay, so I think that this is an important part. And how we're going to define a decision making frameworks, how we're going to take the decisions. We, in very few companies, we stopped and said, okay, why we don't think how we're going to take the decisions? What is going to be our decision making framework? Because normally what we do is like, there is a problem, let's find a solution. Okay, but we don't have a framework of doing that. I'm not saying that you have to have these crystallized processes that nobody take a look. No, why we don't really go deeper and say, hey, with these kind of situations, we are going to act in that way. How we can improve the actual process, how we can change that, how we, I mean, those are the kind of things that it makes sense to stop and work on that, on a really, you know, high performance team attitude. To strength communication and trust, well, we can do so many trainings in terms of communication. I mean, there are so much. How you're gonna really listen, how you're gonna do feedback, how you do feedback, for example, is critical. I put it again in the last part. Feedback training, how you have to do the feedback. Most of the people, they really want I mean, the annual appraisal is like, oh my god, there are people that they put everything perfect because they don't want to really annoying the employee, or otherwise they do the opposite. I mean, to give feedback is not again something that you learn and you have in your ADN. It's something that you really work on that. You really have to learn how to do it. Okay, and again, then building activities, how you're going to build this feeling of we are part of a team, we are part of something bigger than us. How we're going to deliver that. Okay. And the last part, how we're going to evolve resilience and adaptability. Innovation workshops, for example, with Great Culture to Innovate is something that we used to do. What is innovation? What means innovation to your industry? How we can change that? What technology could help you in that? What other tools we can use? What systems are working now that they couldn't work in the past because there are not the technology or models to do it? I mean, there are a lot of things in terms of innovation to do it. Then, of course, stress management, because stress is a lot of relationship that of blocking. If you are blocking, you are not able to really work hard. You know, all the things of, how you are going to manage your stress, mindfulness techniques, all these kind of things. and also how you're going to develop leadership programs. Again, a leader, you need to learn to be a leader. This is also the topics very typical that I used to work with very senior leaders. The other day I was a very senior leader of big organizations that, with a very humble attitude, he recognized that he needs to improve his leadership style. And we work on the situational leadership model and how we are going to improve on that, because he is failing on that. He is failing on that, and he recognizes. So he needs to really go further and force himself to be a best leader that he is now. Okay, so I'm finishing, don't worry. So basically, the RISE methodology, as I told you, it's a 6-month journey, a 1-year journey, I don't know, it depends on the situation. But it's true that it's defined that there are phases, there are things to do. Of course, everything starts with a diagnosis of what is the situation. When I told you, you have to, why you don't put the scores in the different areas, the first approach is to sit down with the CEO or to the people who wants to hire me to do these kind of things and analyze what is the situation, what score do you have in every single aspects of all of them, and how we can create something, a program absolutely tailor-made, absolutely ad hoc, to really go and deliver the results to be a high performance team. Because to be a high performance team, as we told you, is not a fancy thing. It's extremely important to have a clear competitive advantage for your company. Okay? So basically, this is what I want to tell you. So what are you waiting? I think that you need to start working on that. Seriously, I think that here you have a framework. You can use it. You can do it by your own. You can do whatever you want. Okay? But honestly, put effort on that. It's not going to happen if you don't really go deeper on that, if you don't put resources on that, if you don't put time on that. If not, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's absurd thinking that this is going to happen by miracle. It's not going to happen. Okay? So basically with that, I finished. Well, those are my 3 books. I'm in the process of another 2, and they have Diario de Stoicos, that is the new one that is flying, because they have another platform that is the Diario de Stoicos in school, How to Live 100 Years and How to Enjoy It, and the 3 of them, they are in Spanish, but I think in less than 1 month could be in English also. Okay, so that's it, Marta.
Thank you so much, Carlos. We have the first question is, hi, which type of team building would you recommend to improve cohesion and corporate teams across different departments that should collaborate?
Well, there are some, in these high impact techniques, I learned to do more than 60. So there are some exercises that you can do that help on that. Again, there are like 10 or 20. It's something that we have to go and analyze a little bit deeper. What is the situation? What are the problems? I need to understand if the problems is communication, if the problems is lack of trust, if the problems, we need to go deeper and analyze it. But definitely this kind of things is going to help. And again, I don't like when we do like a caffeine thing. I do a workshop on something, that's it, I solve it. No, this is not gonna solve it. I believe on processes. We can do a convention and you can do something with the Salesforce, but it's just one thing. I can generate the climax that they go like, yeah, we do it. If we don't have continuity, if we don't have a program behind that, it's gonna be like one thing in the middle of the sea. Okay, so we need to really create a medium long-term plan if you want to deliver. Because I don't want to sell something that is like, okay, I can do it, of course, I can do it, but I think that it's not my purpose. My purpose is to do things that they have real impact on that.
Very informative and interesting webinar. Excellent presentation and very impactful.
Okay, thank you very much.
We can share the presentation, I think, after the webinar.
Sure.
If someone is interested, maybe you can send us or send Carlos an email asking for the information, okay?
Perfect. More than welcome to share it, and more than welcome to have conversations with everyone who wants to really go deeper on that. And see, hey, Carlos, this is my situation. This is how I am. I really want to know what is going on here, blah, blah, blah. So more than welcome. Why I'm doing these kind of things. Of course, it's part of my job and all this kind of thing. But I did it because I love it. Okay, and I don't know if you feel it that I'm passionate about it. I'm a lucky man because I'm doing most of the things that I like to do. I used to be executive and I decided to stop doing that and dedicate it to these kind of things because it's my passion, it's what I like to do. So, more than welcome to talk with everybody who wants to talk with me, just to chat, just to see if it makes sense, if I can help you in anything. I mean, not always have to be closing a deal or something like that. No, just to talk with people is interesting. Just to try to help people is interesting. I think that helping people is one of the most valuable things that I can do in my life. Okay, so more than welcome to do it.
Thank you, Carlos. Another question, what kind of consulting services do you offer? Different durations, pricing model, etc.
Well, I do so many things, okay, because I'm like a Renaissance man, so it depends. It's more like, let's do the other way. If you call me, you tell me are you looking for, and I can tell you if I cover it or not. Because first of all, I used to work a lot in mass market industry, so regarding pricing, I know a lot of things regarding promotions, regarding trade terms, regarding all the mass market industry, how to launch, innovation, in great culture to innovate. I know how to create a culture of innovate. I represent a couple of companies. One is of software development, and another one is of digital media. I'm senior advisor for Hollywood, as I told you. I mean, I cover so many spectrums, so it depends on what are you looking for. I can tell you if I can help you in that, or if I know someone that they can help you in that. Okay. The good thing is that because I used to work 25 years in big companies in different positions. I'm in sales, marketing, managing director. I stayed in the tech area in the innovation. So I have a very wide approach. Plus my 12 years of coaching, of executive coach, and working with these 600 of executives. So I'm a pretty strange animal in that sense, and I think that I can help you in different things. And if not, I'm gonna be very honest. In that part, I think that I'm not the best to help you in that, but I know someone that I can help you or not. Okay.
Many thanks for the valuable insights. Another question, do you believe that having a mediator figure at the C-level in the future could be a viable solution, or is it more beneficial to focus on fostering personal responsibility that is evident within the group or board?
Oh my God, it's a complex question. I think that both. I mean, again, I'm not doing that or do the other. Well, what I have to choose. I think that you need to reinforce both two things. If the members are not okay, the group is gonna be complex to be okay. This is a fact. So this is the reason why I think that it's important to work on a personal side with every single member, because you know also that if there is one member that is not in the right mood or in the right attitude or in the right position, it's going to contaminate the whole group. So it's something that also I used to do, like assessments of what's going on with these commercial people, or with the not commercial, with every function. I mean, all the C level, and analysis. Well, I think that you have a problem here in this area and the other one, or whatever it is. Okay, it's more senior consultancy in terms of human resources, or to see, because at the end I saw so many people and I work with so many that I'm pretty good on that, to understand what's going on with the people, and to have that feeling on what's working and what is not working. I can fail, of course, but normally not.
Next one, it is a small company, strong culture, a small budget. Usually things are done in-house, a lot of knowledge of its own sector, but physiologically safety may not be there, not because being fired, but being moved, one moment, but being moved or removed from responsibility. How can you convince the committee to see the need of this kind of coaching program without short-term results? Gracias.
Well, yeah, I mean, when we talk about the startups or the small companies, there are like different programs and kind of things that we can do. I mean, and we can teach people how to do some coaching, how can be mentors, how can do feedback. I mean, and you have like ambassadors in the organization that try to help to develop in different areas. As I told you, you don't need to be Procter and Gamble to do all of this. You can do it in a very small size, and we can do things in a very small size, in a very small size, believe me. And just to have a deep conversation with you and understand what you are facing, and two, three, four tips, or create something, a very small program or something like that, makes sense. Makes sense. You don't need to really, because I think that sometimes, oh my God, I couldn't afford to have now a coach for all the executive committee and all these kind of things. Honestly, I think that is payback. But I understand that there are some situations that you are struggling on that. So at least to define, well, to do something is better than don't do anything. So it's much better to start doing little things that they could help you and change things. So more than welcome to have that conversation and how we can help you in that.
Thank you, Carlos. Very interesting and inspiring presentation. Thank you. Another one is ego management is one of the most complex issues. Many people who make it to the higher echelons tend to be
Yes.
pretty alpha. Any ideas on how to help people leave their egos at the hat rack?
Personal coaching. I mean, it's something so intimate that you need to work with him to see why they're acting in that way and what fears they have, why they act and react in that sense. And it's something that when you start working with them, and again, it's not gonna be one session or two sessions. It's like a medium process. People start changing. People start changing, and I really believe and coaching is a very practical thing. This is not psychology. I'm studying psychology, but I'm not a psychologist now. I study business. Okay. Coaching is a very practical approach. The approach is, okay, you have a problem, we are gonna find the way that with your values, with your attitude, you are gonna solve it. Every single coaching sessions end with homework for the coachee, okay? Things that they have to put in place, things that they have to try, things that they have to think about it. And this is the way that you progress. When you stop, when you analyze what is the situation, when you go deeper and understand what I'm afraid of, why I'm acting in that way, why I have to change. When you really go deeper there and you have in a very secure environment with this, in a coaching session, everything that you talk them is absolutely confidential, absolutely confidential. If I work with the whole team, the CEO could tell me, hey, what about the salesman? It's not my problem. It's my problem with the salesman. It's not your problem. Okay, what I'm talking with them is absolutely confidential. When you have this trust environment and confidential, get down and start flowing and start reflecting the kind of things that they have to change.
Thank you, Carlos. What could be done to help employees improve their sense of ownership and start taking initiative to grow?
Two things. First of all is working in the accountability and understand why there are not this accountability there. And again, could be some factors, could be trust, could be that they don't believe in the mission or the vision of the company. And the second you mentioned, and you said, could you repeat the last part of the question?
It is clear purpose when it is the starting point of any business project. So no,
Or
sorry,
it's about innovation or something like
sorry,
that.
sorry. What could be done to help employees improve their sense of ownership and start taking initiative to grow?
Okay, taking the initiative to growth is a very interesting one. Why people they are not taking the initiative? Because they don't feel that they have to do it. Basically, because when it is something that we measure, for example, with Great Culture to Innovate, the people feel that they could say what they think about it, they could propose things, or it's even worse if they propose it. Because the organization is not respecting their initiatives. So just to say, come on, you need to be more proactive, is not going to work. You need to understand why they are not more proactive. Okay, so this is what I tell you, that we need to go deeper on understand your own situation, your own company, because if a situation you want to be more proactive and they are not proactive. If they want to have more innovation and they are not innovation, is something is happening there. Something is happened there. So you need to do an analysis of that. What is the main reason why? We can do a diagnosis, we can talk with them, we can do a test, we can do great culture to innovate analysis. I mean, there are so many tools, very simple ones and very complex ones, to understand what is going on there. And again, these cultural change, they are not something that is going to happen like this. Okay, we have to start working. They're very common that we want that the people are innovative and and proactive. And then you analyze that the CEO, when someone do these kind of things, he's laughing or he's not agree with that, or they put, okay, so because this is your idea, you have to do it. Okay, so he put on top all this homework. So the people said that, oh my God, I prefer to be shy and don't say anything. I mean, there are so many situations that we have to analyze what's going on there.
Thank you, Carlos. Again, another one is, Carlos, why is it so hard to understand a defined and clear purpose when it is the starting point of any business project?
Well, because all of us, I mean, it's not the same. Imagine that Marta and myself, we want to create a company, okay? It's Marta and myself, and we share the vision of Marta, my vision, and then we decide to create something together if we are aligned. But most of the people who are in that company, there are external people that are hired. So it's supposed that they have to believe on that. And you pay for them to, no, you have to believe on that. But it's like, well, you tell me that I have to believe, okay, I'm going to deliver what they're telling me, and that's it. So this is the important part of, okay, one came from here, one came for the other place. Okay, we have this common vision as a company. Why we don't sit down and analyze what that's mean for us concrete, for all of us who are sitting around this table? It's a different thing. Is a different thing, and define a clear vision and mission for us as a team. Of course, align or not against the corporate vision, but we need to go deeper on our root. We need to touch the floor. Okay.
Thank you, Carlos. And what about a problem that many companies have, the age difference between the people who make up the teams? They must have very different goals and completely opposite ways of working. Where to start?
Well, this is good and bad. I mean, something also that we measure in great culture to innovate is like diversity. The people think, oh, to have diversity is great, and have diversity is great depending on what they are doing. And if you have too much diversity, it's not good. And again, depending on what they are doing. If they are doing something that is very technical, probably to have a lot of diversity, it doesn't. I mean, imagine the guys who are changing the wheels on a car of F1, okay? I want to have one who study English, another who is from... No, you really don't care about that. You want people who are efficient changing the wheels. That's it. If you are thinking on innovation and how you are going to create new things and you need creativity in your organizations, you need this kind of diversity. And what means diversity? It's not that it's not just gender, it's not just different cultures, it's a mix of everything. But managing these kind of teams is not an easy thing, because again, trust and way of communication is totally different, or not totally, but pretty different in India than in Spain, than in Italy. I'm facing now a problem with one of my customers that they told them, the way that you communicate this email in Italy is not good. Okay, for example. And he's in shock because he said, oh my God. But there are cultural things. So it's an extra effort to understand how you're going to work with this diversity and multicultural environment. Is the two sides of a knife. I mean, you can do it properly, but if you don't put effort and you don't put the right resources and thinking on that, could be a mess. Could be a mess.
Thank you, Carlos. And next one, what are your thoughts on the future of coaches and mentors who serve as key figures in a team or on a board? Additionally, do you believe that the relevance of either role is influenced by an individual's position within the organization? Muchas gracias.
Okay, the first one. The second one, I miss it. Okay, so then you're
The
gonna
first
repeat it
one.
because I'm
I will repeat, don't
step
worry.
by step. Okay, The future of coaching, mentoring, and all these kind of things. I'm a lucky man because this is exploding. I mean, there is more and more and more. Why? Because it works. Because it works. As simple as that. I mean, it's true that there are very strange things in coaching and mentoring people that they are doing strange things. Anyway, this is a fact-based resource and a fact-based investment. I like to work with KPIs. I like to work with, because I used to be part of a corporate environment, so I know the metrics, I know how it works. Okay, it's not a question of, oh, this is nice. No, no, this is not about nice. Okay? Of course, we want to try to be nice, but there is a lot of fact-based results that we can share on that. And the reality is that most of the companies, if we talk about big corporations, you can see part of the ones that I used to work, the reality is that there are some toxic environments sometimes and disbalanced lives. This unbalanced life is doing that the people are suffering. So it's like, okay, I used to have a lot of coaching sessions and I always said, oh my God, what's happening today? There's a complete moon or something because the brains are, the people are getting crazy. Because the reality is that the world is getting complex. The world is getting complex and the people needs really more spaces to stop, more spaces to express themselves, more space to be in themselves and build through that. Okay, build through that feeling, through that state, and then you can go ahead. Okay. And the second question, Marta, I forgot it.
The second one is additionally, do you believe that the relevance of either role is influenced by an individual's position within the organization?
I don't understand the question. Ask me in a different
The
way.
first one, it is, what are your thoughts on the future of coaches and mentors who serve as key figures in a team or on a board? And
Yeah.
the second one is, additionally, do you believe that the relevance of either role is influenced by an individual's position within the organization?
I don't understand properly what they're looking for. But to have this role in the organization, under my point of view, is absolutely critical. It's absolutely critical because it's help, as I told you, as this oil in the engine who generate the right way of working. Okay, so I think these kind of roles, and even that the people in the senior position, they have to be trained on leadership, they have to be trained on feedback, they have to be trained on coaching or mentoring, at least some principles. So it's important to put these kind of efforts in the organization. I don't know if I answered because I don't understand properly the question. Sorry.
And she's answering that.
He said I responded.
Okay,
Great.
perfect. You respond to my questions. Okay. So is the juniorization, sorry,
What
it's
is
not
that?
easy. Juniorization of
Liberalization.
managerial lines a problem when managing people? Are skills like conflict or crisis management lacking?
Yes and no. I think that there are different generations, different animals, different way of thinking, but they are not worse than us. I mean, I have the privilege to work in Evo Banco because I was in an innovation department. As I told you, I was the customer lab managing director there. And I used to have very young people, very brilliant people coming from Google, New York on research, or from doctors in maths, and very young people. And the drivers there are totally different than mine. Totally different than mine. It was a very shocking experience and very nice experience because you need to adapt your speech and your strategies for what they are looking for. The drivers, they are totally different. I mean, for example, I remember these guys, they are like, I remember I said, oh, I'm gonna buy this or I'm gonna buy that with that bonus or whatever. And I said, why you are buying things, Carlos? I said, well, because I want to have things. Tell me, no, we don't want to. Most of them, yeah, as I told you, PhDs and brilliant people, they even don't have a driver license because they really don't care about that. They really care about their times, they really care about the purpose. They are very oriented on purpose, and I'm working here because I like what I'm doing. And there are a lot of people of my generation that they're just working there because there is a salary. And they need more flexibility in timings, but on the other hand, they work hard with different tools. The agile tool, for example, they work on a different way. I mean, I'm not a controlling leader. I really don't care if there are. I remember one day we were one day, and I said, "Hey, where is that guy now?" And he said, "He's on the church." Ah, okay, he's on the church. Okay, for me, it's not a problem. Or he's at home. I mean, I really don't care where they are. And I know that this is something that people question it, but I'm focused on the results. I'm focused on high performance team that are really aligned on what we need to do, and they really enjoy the process, okay, and they work on that. So it's not like, oh, these generations, I mean, they don't know how to do it. Man, I need that we need to be humble and understand that there are different environments of growing, different world. So we need to adapt ourselves also to that.
I think we don't have
Okay,
any question more. I
pretty
think
good,
it
pretty
was
good, not
really,
bad.
really interesting,
Thank you.
very dynamic. So I think that if we don't have any question more, maybe we can
We can
finish.
stop here. Okay,
Thank you so
so
much, Carlos. Thank you.
thank you very much to all of you. More than welcome to have individual conversations. Of course, we share the materials, and here I am. Okay, it was a pleasure for me. Okay,
Thank you.
take
Bye,
care.
Carlos.